What happened on the 27th of June and 29th of June was an escalation of this entry into our property, where thugs, accompanied by armed men, entered into the recreational center known as the Gallery Clubhouse to start digging in portions of the land, of the property. The Gallery Clubhouse is the main hospitality and recreational facility that serves residents of the estate. This matter was captured on video and has been circulating through the media, so I need not over-elaborate on what had happened. But what is clear, that these men were acting under certain instructions. My staff were arrested and held in custody for 2 days. The equipment that they used to smoothen the ground was impounded at the DPO's station in River Park Estate. The staff that were arrested were held for 2 days. We went to all the police stations, from River Park police stations to the Lugbe police station and the FCT command. They were not there. We only found out a day after they are being held that they were at the FCDA police station, where they were held for 2 days without being charged. Now, senior police officers had to reach out to the CSO, who admitted that he instructed their arrest under the direction of the FCT Minister. It took our lawyer to reach out to the FCT Minister before these men, my staff, were released after 2 days. Following this was when the erection of the wall on this property started. The same men who are erecting this wall on this property are the same men who, after completing the erection of the wall of this property, entered the clubhouse and started destroying this property. So all these sequence of events lead us to no doubt that these actions, these attacks on our property and our assets are being done with the direct consent, knowledge, and approval of the FCT Minister. There are videos of attacks on my person, armed men attacking me. There are videos of attack on my office and staff. There are videos of attack on gallery by machete and weapons holding men. There are videos of gunshots against me, at me. There are several evidence of attack on me. There has been concerns that there might be xenophobic tendencies underpinning this crisis. One thing that is certain is that we are being discriminated against in this matter. If it has risen to the level of xenophobic, that is for the observers and the general public to determine. But what is clear is that if you come to River Park Estate, Paulo Holmes, that is the party that hitherto has no locus in the DLA, is working without any disturbance. Many companies all belong to Nigerians, from service companies to construction companies, and several companies, numbering tens, are all working. The only company that is being targeted and attacked and whose operation is being ground to a halt is JonahCapital, which is owned by a Ghanaian investor. I am certain in my mind that this attack is coordinated. I am certain in my mind that these attacks have the backing of certain powers. I am certain in my mind that the FCT Minister knows about these attacks. I am certain in my mind that there's a calculated attempt to dispossess us of our entitlements and our assets. I am certain in my mind that my security is compromised. I am certain in my mind that my company is being targeted. I am also certain in my mind that my investment is not safe. As to whether this has risen to xenophobic level, I leave it to the judgment of the public. My humble appeal to the President of Ghana also comes with an assurance to the President of Ghana that JonahCapital has done no wrong or compromised ourselves in any way or brought any dishonor to the Republic of Ghana through our conduct or operations in Nigeria. We have fully respected the laws of Nigeria as is expected of any visitor into a foreign country. We have obeyed all laws and worked assiduously to support the development of Nigeria, just as we have done in Ghana. We are not being held liable for any breach of laws of Nigeria. In fact, when we were erroneously and maliciously charged that we had conducted criminal impersonation and fraud, the Attorney General of Nigeria, through their independent investigation, cleared us of all these malicious charges and also led the AGF's office to discontinue the charges that had been brought to us by CP Fakorede. We have been worthy ambassadors of Ghana and ECOWAS as a whole. We are appealing to you, Mr. President, that all we are asking is that we are operating within the confines of a development lease agreement, which gives provision for dispute resolution. We have abided by these provisions and taken legal action to ensure that the right thing is done. What we are being subjected to is extrajudicial attacks outside the provisions of the DLA, outside the provisions of the court of law. We are opening up ourselves for any challenge to our position in the court of law. But what we are being subjected to now is attacks on our person. We have invested too much in this country to be treated this way. And if we are no longer welcome to invest in Nigeria, at the very least, we need the dignity of safe passage as expected to ensure that our investment is recognized and provisions of the DLA is respected. The issue of the status of the development lease agreement is what is seeming to be contested. However, the development lease agreement is a living and breathing document between JonahCapital and the FCDA and makes the room and provision for dispute resolution. The minister has one position, JonahCapital has the other position. The only party or the only arbiter that can make a definite pronouncement is the court of law. We have taken this matter to court, and the FCT Minister and the FCDA have been duly served. So, we are appealing to His Excellency, the President of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Tinubu, who is a friend and brother of Ghana. His Excellency the President, on January 7th, 2025, was the guest of honor at the inauguration of President Mahama in Ghana, where he said, "The bond of brothership between Ghana cannot be broken." Mr. President, Ghanaian businesses in Nigeria are being attacked unjustifiably, whilst a matter that's in court by the FCT Minister. We are not asking for any favors. We are not asking for your office to enter the matter. We are just asking that our peace and security be respected by the FCT Minister, whilst a matter that is in court takes its course. We are saying and appealing to your office, Mr. President, that this matter is in court. This matter has been served on the FCT Minister and his office. The FCT Minister must respect the fact that we as foreigners also have rights. We as foreigners are defenseless. We as foreigners are minority. And our only resort is to use legal channels to ensure that our rights are respected. So we are appealing to you, Mr. President, that all we are asking is that a matter that is in court be respected and let the court take its course and our privacy and security be respected. The matter between JonahCapital and FCDA started specifically when we observed in the newspapers that the FCDA was issuing title documents to parties that were not sanctioned by the company. We wrote to the FCDA and the FCT Minister to express our concerns that the COVs and ROVs that had been issued were not at the instance of the company, which is a serious matter of impersonation of officers of the company. This led the FCT Minister to set up a ministerial committee sometime in August last year to look into the ownership of River Park Estate. The committee wrote to us for documents to establish the ownership of the estate, which we submitted to them. In September last year, the FCT Minister in several media interviews stated that the ministerial committee had concluded their work and showed that JonahCapital was the bona fide party in the development lease agreement. The FCT Minister was very clear that the competing parties had no interest in the development lease agreement. The FCT Minister also further went on to state that he had revoked the development lease agreement because the agreement had expired by a fraction of time. Now, we disagreed that the agreement had expired. The FCDA, through the General Counsel, wrote to us about this revocation. We responded that we did not agree with that position of the FCT Minister and submitted documents to show that. Be as it may, In April this year, the FCT Minister invited us to a meeting in his office where the competing parties who he had established that had no interest in the estate were also present. The FCT Minister told us that those title documents that had been procured by the parties illegally were going to be reinstated, and that he was going to stand by his revocation of the DLA. Now, we found this odd. When it comes to the ownership of River Park Estate, this question has been answered by the FCT Minister himself. And this is public knowledge through his interviews that he has granted on channels, where his position on the development lease agreement governing the development of River Park has been undisputed, unimpeachable, and very clear. The company, Polo Homes, has no locus in the position of the development lease agreement. Polo Homes only acted as a contractor to JonahCapital, for which they were duly compensated. The matters between JonahCapital and Polo Homes are presently in court. So I'm not going to speak to the matter, but refer to the fact that these matters between JonahCapital and Polo Homes, where Polo Homes has encroached several lands belonging to JonahCapital, are matters in several courts in Nigeria. The ownership of the DLA or the parties to the DLA are very clear, and are clear in the words of the FCT Minister himself.